Hey friends, in this video we're talking about outside and inside perspectives, why I think we need a balance of both. Let's jump in. Hey friends, I'm Ash Leatherwood, your friendly neighborhood apologist, and something that I'm passionate about is anthropology. It's something that I study. And in anthropology we talk about Etic and Emic perspectives. And Etic has to do with an outside perspective. So looking at something from the outside, you're not someone on the inside, you're kind of outside above it all. You get to see it from a large perspective and from an outsider perspective. And Emic perspective is actually from the inside. You get to see it as you get to see it from being a part of it, looking really from the inside at everything that's going on. So an Etic might be someone who's like, an anthropologist or someone who's studying from the outside, coming and seeing it as an outsider. You don't exactly know what's going on. And Emic is someone on the inside. You get to experience it, you get to partake in it, participate in it. And historically, there are people that have argued that, Emic is better. Emic is the only way to really understand something. You must be inside it and experience it and participate in it. Others have argued that an Etic perspective is actually better because then you don't have the biases, everything that's going on inside. You get to see from the outside and understand it from a whole perspective, and that's more holistic, getting to see everything from the outside without actually being on the inside. But I think that actually you need a balance of both, and this is actually really important when we're thinking about different belief systems and talking through different faiths, engaging with people from these faiths. I think that we can go to both extremes. I think that neither of them is really helpful. I think that the danger for focusing only on an Etic perspective, being the outsider perspective, is that you'll only ever understand things from your own point of view. You won't actually go in and try to understand things from where these people are coming from, how they understand the world, how they experience the world. Similarly, if you focus only on the Emic perspective, the insider perspective, then you'll kind of be stuck in this bubble that you'll only ever understand it from that point of view. And when we're trying to understand faiths and beliefs, we want to get in the point of view, we want to understand where people are coming from, we want to see how they're getting where they're getting and why they believe what they believe. But at the same time, it also helps to have a perspective that's a little more withdrawn, that you get to see the big picture as well. So the way this looks in conversations is you want to unpack where people are coming from. You do want to get inside. And I think that this is best done by trying to find common ground, by asking why they believe what they believe, and really asking good questions. I think that's why it can help to know something, a little bit about a worldview before talking to someone with that worldview. That way you have really key things you can ask about for that person's view. And it really unpacks really some core things that you might not know to ask about otherwise. But at the same time, it can help to withdraw a little bit to see the big picture, to see things in a way that maybe they themselves are blind to because they're inside. So that might be challenging questions, ask them questions that you might have concerns about, or that might be different between your beliefs. That's going to be where you find differences in views. So that's where it's key to find both common ground, but also highlight important differences and ask challenging questions. So this is where it's important to find that balance. Don't just go all in on the Emic perspective and just try to understand everything from their view and try to experience it and experience the world the way they do. But at the same time, don't just stay withdrawn and try to enforce your own view and understand their world and their experience through your own experience and worldview. You need to do both in the conversation. And I think it helps to start in the conversation by going to the Emic perspective, by starting to ask them about their views, starting the conversation on friendly grounds. You do that by trying to find common ground, by trying to understand where they're coming from, some important things for them about their own beliefs. That's where knowing a couple of things about what they believe can be helpful, because it shows that you care about them, you honor them, and you want to hear what really matters to them. Now, once you've found that, you've gotten a little bit of the Emic perspective, that's where you want to bring the Etic perspective into it. You want to understand how these little things impact the big story. You want to understand how they understand the world and how your own worldview will have common ground there, but also have important differences. So then you might bring your own worldview into the conversation and tell them a little bit about what you believe and ask them how they would interpret that bring a little bit of a different world into their world and see how they engage with it. You can ask them challenging questions, concerns that you have. If I'm talking to a Muslim, I might start asking them, what do they think about Jesus being more than a prophet? What do they think about Old Testament prophecies talking about Jesus' role in atonement for the sake of the world, and how a mere prophet can't do that? What do they think about how the fact that the eyewitness accounts are present of Jesus, but they believe an account that came over 500 years after that claims it's more accurate than the eyewitnesses, even though it's written by a guy who never knew Jesus, never walked with Jesus? What do they think about the lifestyle of Muhammad? Do they want to follow that and encourage that? So those can be some challenging questions that you might bring having an Etic perspective. So really, to bring this video full circle, you don't want to just come at things from an insider perspective, you don't just want to come at things from an outsider perspective. You want to incorporate both in your conversations when it comes to other people's views. Try to unpack their world, understand their experience, and then bring your own experience and worldview into the conversation, and see how both worldviews and experiences relate, have common ground, and have important differences. So that's my challenge to you guys. Try to think about having both an Emic and an Etic perspective when engaging other worldviews. If you found this video helpful, then please subscribe for more content just like this. Like the video if you find it helpful, and send it to someone that you think might be challenged or encouraged by it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.